Hey Juicers, when we think about everything from iconic stadiums to trading cards to Little League to even films, it is safe to say America loves baseball. But how did this favorite pastime come to be? Well, the actual origins of the game are a bit fuzzy, but history has definitely seen its fair share of games that used bats and balls. Earlier versions of the game we know today made their way to the US as early as the 1700s, and over the years would evolve as teams and loose organizations started to develop. But it wasn't until 1845 that the first official rules were established, followed shortly by what many believe to be the first officially recorded baseball game in U.S. history in 1846, which saw the New York Nine beat the New York Knickerbockers 23-1 in 4 innings. The first attempt at an actual professional baseball league happened in 1871 with the founding of the National Association of Professional Baseball Players, which didn't last very long and was basically replaced by the National League in 1876. The National League was the first of 2 leagues that would go on to make up Major League Baseball. The second, being the American League, wouldn't come along until 1901, but would pave the way for the very first World Series, which saw the Boston Americans of the American League defeat the Pittsburgh Pirates of the National League in the year 1903. The years that followed were, well, actually kinda boring and known as the dead ball era. See, the rules were different then, and the scoring was low with barely any home runs. But the rule changes brought about in the early 1920s fixed all that and saw the rise of heavy hitters such as Babe Ruth, with many other greats to follow. One of them being Jackie Robinson, the very first African American to play in Major League Baseball, which broke the baseball color line and ended racial segregation in professional baseball. The game would continue to see many changes over the years as it grew more and more popular. Eventually, baseball would make its way around the world, with leagues and teams popping up everywhere from the Caribbean to Europe to Asia. Today, Major League Baseball is made up of 30 teams and continues to captivate its fans both on and off the field. It is the oldest professional sports league in the United States, which definitely gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, the old ball game. And that's the juice.